It's October 1st, and that means that we're now within the same month the Black Ops 4 is launching. This is our last week without Black Ops 4. So as we draw closer and closer, no doubt the hype is, of course, probably building for a lot of you guys, and of course we're gonna see a ton of stuff coming out within marketing and also leaks and all kinds of things, but there's a lot going on within the Call of Duty world as is, not just for Black Ops 4, but also Call of Duty World War II. So today, we're gonna once again take a sort of hybrid look at both of these and take a look at 8 things to look out for this week, continuing our weekly series here with you guys and allowing you to kind of have a little heads up knowledge of what to expect within the upcoming days before we once again draw ever so closer to Black Ops 4. So that said, let's just jump right into it. Let's start with the current things and what you can look for immediately coming into this week. Tomorrow, we might actually have a surprise update for Call of Duty World War II, a sort of last hurrah, final bang within World War II for one last event potentially, or one last new event, because I'm definitely thinking that we're gonna see the collections open up as we hit those time frames as what we saw last year, so Winter Siege opening up again in December, and so on and so forth. But Halloween Scream was teased within Friday's Sledgehammer Weekly Update, and out of that, we didn't get any sort of ETA, no real explanation as to what it might actually mean, but from the picture given, it's a brand new look at the HQ, very reminiscent of what we saw with Attack of the Undead, a zombified, dark, gritty headquarters feeling, and of course, jack-o'-lanterns littering the headquarters as well. So that to me seems like we're gonna be seeing a brand new event here very, very soon. To me, it also would not make any sense to launch this thing next week or after that, because then you will lose a ton of the populace to Black Ops 4. Right now, if you drop it tomorrow, you still have that last final hurrah to get people into Black Ops 4 if they are going to move over. And so therefore, just in a marketing sense, makes sense to do it tomorrow. So if that's the case, we will have a brand new event with new weapons coming. As for what ranged, who knows, but there is a scythe actually in the Halloween Scream logo, so maybe we see that melee weapon coming. Of course, we'll probably get new camos, new customization, possibly a new map as well, because we've seen out of the events so far that we've had alternating events giving us a brand new maps. Covert Storm is that off period, and then we saw one with Days of Summer. Liberty Strike we didn't, Attack the Undead we did, and so on and so forth. But the only thing that will be a downside here at this is that it might be subject to PSN exclusivity. So that means that there might be a 30-day waiting period if there is a brand new map, to which if that's the case, I think that I'd rather do without. But one thing that I would love to see is if they pull something from Modern Warfare, because way back in the day, and this probably really will test your memory here and maybe predates a ton of you here up on the channel, way back in the day there was an original teaser before the launch of COD 4 that showed a Halloween version of Overgrown. We never saw that in the game, and to this day it's never been introduced even in Modern Warfare Remastered. So that'd be insanely cool to finally see that come to fruition with a jack-o'-lantern theme and maybe some other cool things like that. They've already done things from the Modern Warfare series with shipments, so it's very possible that we end up seeing it, but as for if that'll actually happen, your guess is good as mine, but I'd love to see that. Regardless, Halloween Scream, very likely, I think, at least in my books, to come tomorrow. Don't take that as certain fact, but to me it just makes sense that this will drop tomorrow. The next thing that we want to talk about is a little bit of the midweek mobilization. This is going to breeze through this kind of stuff, but as of Wednesday into Thursday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, you'll end up having the ability to have double XP on Infected. After the midweek mobilization, fast forward a couple of more days, as of Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time until Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, the weekend warfare is double XP on Horde Point. Now this to me kind of once again just solidifies that idea that we'll have a brand new event starting tomorrow, because both of those were zombie-centric game modes and completely focused around the zombies modes and that crossover that we initially saw with Attack of the Undead. So that said, if we're seeing those reintroduced as featured game modes, yes, it could of course be something that plays into the Halloween theme and just is kind of there for fun, but it also makes sense to me that we see those limited time modes, not necessarily in the way of Infected, but Horde Point for sure, come back for a reason. So that's something that I think, of course, will play into that, but that's your midweek mobilization and weekend warfare. If you guys are looking for some awesome new weapons to slay out with, potentially Butcher is back with a brand new weapon contract starting tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's going to be the VMG 1927, actually the most recent recent weapon contract that we've ever seen to date within World War II. We're usually staggered by a couple of weeks, if not a few months, from when a contract is offered, but this one was just available as of last week with the Covert Storm event. The VMG being a nice, well-rounded LMG here is, of course, a massive help to your armaments if you are looking for something that's mobile and can definitely pack a punch. Definitely worth going for this one. Again, I say that about a lot of weapons, but truly I think that we've had some heavy hitters as of recently, so of course, definitely grab that one if you don't have any variants of it. I know that it was only around for a limited time, but you'll be able to grab this for probably 4,000, 5,000 armory credits. Outside of that, the final thing that we will talk about here in relation to World War II here for this week is the unlocking of the survival maps from DLC 3. For those of you guys that do or do not pay attention to zombies, it was something that the Tortured Path was a way that we sort of had to traverse multiple levels of zombies and a different way to kind of approach the zombies experience than that of what we've seen pretty much every year in the past 5-6 years or so as different games have adopted zombies. But with that said, the Torture Path was an all-inclusive thing where you swapped in between multiple maps, but after you ended up completing it, you really couldn't go back and play it individually all that much. You had to go and play the full thing, so if you wanted to play Stage 3, you had to go through Stage 1 and 2 instead of just jumping into it. Apparently that's going to be unlocked here as of tomorrow, if I'm reading this correctly, if I'm interpreting the information given, but if not tomorrow, very, very soon as well. And again, another little note with zombies is that Master Prestige rewards are coming. From a lot of people that I've heard so far, it's a little bit too late for what they really were hoping here with this, especially if they're zombies grinders. Black Ops 4 and the Treyarch zombies, the original zombies crew, I'm sure that's going to attract a lot of attention as well. But that said, that is the World War II content here to look out for this week. A lot of cool stuff still, even though we're just a week and a half away from the primary life cycle of that game being done. But moving over into Black Ops 4. This is where I think we can start to see some very interesting things, and not in terms of sheer quantity, what we're going to be discussing is as much as World War II, but there's some things that I definitely think we should keep our eye out for no less. The first thing being more map reveals, because as of actually recording this, I had to go back and jot this down on my notes, and then actually readjust the order of which we're talking about things here in this video. But as of recording this, we actually got a brand new map teaser from Treyarch's Twitter itself. So this is for the map Morocco, which you can check it out on screen. I'll have it in the background here for you guys, but it looks as if it's one of those unnamed maps that we had from the launch trailer. A couple of days ago, and if not probably at this point, last week at some point, we ended up getting a trailer with some gameplay and some footage of zombies, multiplayer, and battle royale. But in the multiplayer section, we saw one that was a sort of forested area and then one that looked like a little bit of a villa. And so this might actually fit the criteria of what that villa map was, but we still don't really have anything to directly one-to-one confirm or deny that. There is still, of course, differences that in that footage we saw that is not in this Morocco teaser, but it does sort of look to fit that design to the map itself. So if that's the case, I would expect that final map to actually be debuted at some point during this week. Maybe tomorrow, maybe Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but definitely this week I would expect that. The next thing though that I would be conscious of, and this one is kind of hit or miss for some people, are Black Ops 4 leaks, because as it stands right now, we are in that period where retailers are going to be setting up all their different displays and everything like that. They're getting their shipments in of the actual game copies. So you may have a friend or a second removed cousin that has some connections here, and before you go jumping off there, be sure if you're gonna spend the extra money that it's legit firstly, but also be conscious that if you are somebody that just wants to know some information, there's gonna be information out there in the upcoming days. Now, as for how much, we don't know exactly if it follows suit like World War II. If I'm not mistaken, World War II actually had a sort of day one update that was a minor hotfix that literally just flicked the proverbial switch that you could end up going online and getting past that main menu. But it is something we don't know if that's going to be held out until one day before, 2 days before, or actually like right at launch, or if somebody can get their copy a week and a half early and jump right into it and spoil everything for people that want to go in fresh. So be conscious of that, because retailers and stores are getting their actual physical copies now. So it's right around that time when leaks start to come out about a bunch of different things. So either keep your eyes and ears open or keep them closed and kind of averted from the topic if you don't want to have anything spoiled. But the final thing that I do want to mention here actually deals with the potential for another zombies trailer or some gameplay itself, because we saw a while ago now at this point that over on the zombies subreddit, the classified gameplay was leaked. And this was something that a lot of people thought, well, is this a custom map or is this actually legit, because it was something that was so early on, it was kind of like, how did this end up here? But that's something that we have yet to see anything about classified, and that's honestly probably a big thing that can help sell the Black Ops Pass from just a sheer business and marketing perspective, and we haven't seen anything on that just yet. So I would not be surprised if we end up getting another Zombies trailer encompassing either 9, Voyage of Despair, Blood of the Dead, and Classified, maybe all 4 of them, to kind of push that into the launch here for this. But again, be conscious and heads up for that, because that might happen, but is again, in no way, shape, or form confirmed, just a slight little hunch. But that said, we're gonna wrap it up. That's been 8 things within Call of Duty and the Call of Duty universe to look out for this week. A lot of cool stuff. Again, the final week before jumping in to Black Ops 4, where we don't have anything really in front of us for the next title, but we're drawing ever so closer. World War II promises to keep us busy until then, and after that, we of course have a ton of stuff to jump into with Black Ops 4. But that said, we're gonna wrap it up, so thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Are you guys excited for any of the things we mentioned here? Halloween Scream event within World War II, new Black Ops 4 information, whatever it may be, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But that said, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you drop a like down below. If you are also new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding anything Call of Duty, World War II content here while we wrap up that, Black Ops 4, Blackout, all that good stuff we got you covered. So if any of that interests you, make sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing. If you guys also want to follow me over on Twitter, that's the best place to get connected outside of YouTube, and Instagram, a little more active over there as well. And if you guys want to follow along with a little renovation project I'm actually doing with my entire setup, posting some Instagram stories over there, so you'll see it before an actual proper video. But that said, if you guys want to follow those, links are in the description below. But thanks so much for watching. Mine's an espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care. I'm so hyped for the next week and a half, dude. I'll see you later. Peace.